again and welcome to another edition of Shed Talk, and the first video in November. In this video we're going to first of all get a couple of the young birds out of the young bird flight there. They need to be moved into the main flight. They're over 6 months old now, so they can cope with the hustle and bustle in the main flight. So I'll get those birds out and we'll have a look at those. I'll put them in one of the show cages and we can have a quick look, and perhaps I'll talk a little bit about my initial thoughts on them. So that will be the young birds. What we'll then go on to do is have another look at the breeding pairs. You'll remember from the last video we've put 6 pairs down. If you haven't seen the video, I will put a quick link across the top of the screen to it so you can have a look at the breeding pairs. But I'll quickly run through those. We'll have a look at the pairs in the cages and see where we've got to in terms of setting up those breeding cages and the various nest boxes. We'll also talk a little bit about what's coming up in November on Shed Talk. But as always, if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit that like button, and you can subscribe. And if you want early notifications rather than wait for me to post them, then hit the bell and you'll get a notification as soon as I've uploaded the video. Once again, thanks for all those people who have subscribed and who watch the videos. So what we'll do now is we'll get these birds out and have a look at these young birds. So I've got the young birds out of the nappy flight. You can see the two we're looking at now, these two light greens. They're both cock birds. I'll just see if I can get one to stand on the other perch. They both want to be on the same perch for some reason. Come on. There we go. Hopefully they'll both they will both stay like that if I can keep them interested in the stick for a second. So these birds are, the one on the right is about just over 6 months old, so about 7 in reality, and the one on the left I believe is just turned 6 months old. Both of these birds were feather prepped as youngsters, as you can tell. Yet to make a decision on these. I quite like the spots on the one on the right hand side. Both of them have got reasonable glow given how badly pecked they were as youngsters. So they could possibly be keepers. They're in a bit of a state at the moment. I think they're both going for another molt, so I don't think they're ever going to get all their feathers back on their wings. So there's the two cocks, both light greens, as you can see. Let's have a quick look at the hen. And this here is the hen. Once again, another heavily feather-flecked bird. She is a light green cinnamon. Again, I'm not sure she's ever going to get all of her feathers back. She might get a few more given the molt. It's quite bad around the back of the neck, as you can see. Expect she's never going to get those. Don't really know yet whether this is going to ever make the breeding team. She's very narrow in the head, even without the feathers. So probably unlikely, but you never know. She may have still got a bit of growing to do. She is also about 6 months old, maybe closer to 7. So that is all of the young birds that I need to move this month up into the main flight. 2 for the cockbird flight and 1 for the hen. And whilst I'm up there, I guess I might as well get out some birds that are the sort of second 11, I suppose, for the Oxford 1910 show that's coming up. So let's now have a quick run round of the breeding cages. So first of all, we'll just say that all of the breeding cages so far have got the next box fitted, as you can see with this one, but they are currently closed. So what I mean by that is I've turned the inside round so that it locks the main entrance hole into the nest box, so the hen or the cockbird, particularly the hen, can't get into it at this moment. I normally do that for a few days after I put them both in. So my normal process is I put both the cock and the hen in together. I have tried, the cock bird going in first and then the hen bird going in second, and vice versa. I haven't really noticed any difference. I don't know whether people have. So just leave a comment if you find that one particular, putting one bird in before the other one, makes any major difference. So I tend to put them both in together, or it may well be that I'll put the hen in first at one time or the cock in, depending on which appears to be fittest or which bird is to hand. So they both went in together in this case in all of the cages. I put them both in the breeding cage together. What I then do is I give them a couple of days without any nest box fitted, just so they get used to the cage and get used to each other, and begin to break down some of those initial quarrels that you will sometimes find, and perhaps start to pair up depending on how fit they both are. I then put the nest box on like this with it reversed, as I say, and I do that probably for about a week, or just under a week. I do that for a couple of reasons. One is it just gets the birds used to the nest box being there, but it also, I find, and with pair one actually, which we'll talk about in a second, the hen will sometimes start trying to gain access to it and will start gnawing on the nest box. And I just think this encourages her to come back into a bit more condition, and stops her from sitting in the nest box straight away. And also, once she starts gnawing on it, the hen will start paying a bit more attention to her, knowing that she's thinking about going to nest. So, as I say, pair one then which is my best pair, as you're probably aware from the last video. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link across the top of the screen as usual. Hen is showing some interest in the nest box already and has been gnawing at it. Cockbird is showing a little bit of interest in her, but not massively at this moment. So that's my pair one. Pair two, which is the dark green hen and my cinnamon grey cockbird. Hen not showing much interest at the moment in the nest box, but they seem to have settled down. Cockbird isn't showing a massive amount of interest in the hen either. The hen actually looks in lovely condition, looks like she ought to go down quite quickly, but so far not showing any interest in the nest box. When I open it, hopefully that will make a difference. So that's pair one and pair two. So now let's have a look at pair three. So pair three is this cobalt cockbird with a grey-green cinnamon hen. The hen's quite young. In fact, both these birds haven't been in a breeding cage before. These two birds appear to be getting on reasonably well, with the both of them sitting together and doing a little bit of mutual preening. I've got quite high hopes for this pair. I actually quite like, the more I look at them, the more I quite like the pairing, and I'm hoping that they might produce me with some good youngsters. The hen hasn't shown any interest in the nest box as yet. She is a fairly young hen, so a maiden hen. So once again, I'm hoping that once I turn the nest box round, she will show a bit more interest in it, and then perhaps we'll be lucky. So like I say, I'm really quite hopeful for this particular pair. So moving on to pair four, and this is the grey-green cinnamon hen and a opaline, I think dominant pied hen bird. Likewise, these two, they're sitting together, so not showing masses of interest, but they are not bickering and not sitting miles away from each other. So this pair, again, once I turn the nest box round, will hopefully the hen bird will show a bit more interest in the nest box. She hasn't done up till now, at least I haven't seen her up till now showing any major interest. So finally then, pairs 5 and 6. Pair 5 is an opaline sky blue cockbird with a grey-green cinnamon hen. This pair not showing much interest. In fact, the cockbird's showing a little bit more interest in the birds in the cage next to it. So if that carries on and it doesn't show any interest in the cockbird, what I might do is put a bit of cardboard between the two cages. From the wire cages, the bird can see the other birds. That can be a blessing and a bit of a con as well. So a bit pros and cons around that. The pros are it's more like a flock to them, so it's a little bit, from their point of view, they can see the other birds, and if the other birds are getting on with breeding, it sort of encourages them to get on. The con is that if one of the cockbirds takes a liking to the hen next door, it can put him off with the hen that we've chosen for him. But again, we haven't really opened the nest box up, so they've only shortly been in there. So hopefully once the nest box gets opened up and if the hen starts showing interest in it, then the cockbird should start showing some interest in the hen. Pair 6 then, so this is the cockbird is a yellowface cobalt, and the hen is a dominant pied. So these two birds getting on all right together, sitting next to each other. I've not seen them mutually pruning, but I suspect there may well be some of that going on. Again, as with the others, hen not showing a massive amount of interest in the nest box yet, but again, closed. So, and I've not seen hers. Well, I suppose what I'm saying when I say I've not seen the hens, the hens aren't showing any interest in the nest box. I've not seen that while I've been in the shed. Of course, I'm not in here the whole time. So, yeah. So early days for the 6 breeding pairs. They haven't been down that long, so it is early days, and I think perhaps in the next update we may have a little bit more to say. So with all of these, I will be turning nest box rounds within the next week, and we'll have a look in a future video at my setup, a very quick look at my breeding cage setup. So that's a quick run round of the breeding pairs. Well, that's all the breeding cages. The noise in the shed has actually risen quite a bit because I've just opened some of the nest boxes up, as I said I was going to. Hens are showing an interest in nest boxes, so consequently the cockbirds are all showing an interest in the hens, and of course once one starts, they all start, hence the amount of noise that's going on in here. Unfortunately it impacts on the sound quality of the video, but the good news is it means we've got some cocks interested in hens. So we'll have a wait and see what that looks like then. I put the I suppose the second 11 breeding team into the stock cage, really coming in handy, this stock cage, and we'll have a quick look at those. Or you can see those now. Not the best of birds, and I don't think they're really going to win any major prizes, but however, need to get some birds out, so we will see where we go with these lot. While we're looking at those, just what's coming up in the next few videos this month. We've got, of course, as I say, I've got these show team, or second 11 show team, going out for the Oxford 1910 annual show. So there will be a video, I'm hoping, of that. Being show secretary, it might not be quite as easy to video it as some of the other shows, but we'll see. I certainly should be able to get some pictures of the birds at least. So that's coming up. We'll also have a quick look at one of the breeding cages and how I set that up, what goes in it, type of nest box that I'm using, that sort of thing. I know I've done that before, but rather than go back and look at another video, I thought we would try that out. And then also coming up, we'll be looking towards the end of the month, we'll have another look at the breeding pairs and see how they're getting on. Judging by the noise, hopefully we'll have some nest boxes clear and maybe even a few eggs in them, but who knows. Always hopeful, aren't we, at the beginning of the breeding season? Our hopes are always very high. Well, before I go, we'll have a quick look now at the hens, and whilst we're doing that, don't forget, please do stay safe and enjoy the birds.